Welcome to another episode of PK's Anonymous, the community of pastors, kids who are all purpose and no performance. I'm excited about this episode extremely because we've got somebody that we've had plenty of conversations about this before, and I think it's going to be really, really dope. So, as always, we want to give our guests an opportunity to let us know how to refer to them. So, all throughout the episode, this person will be referred to what they want to be referred to as. So, what are we calling you today?
Today I'll be Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee. I love it. All right, so today we got Bruce Lee. Now, Bruce Lee, what region are you from? And when I say from, I mean in what region did you experience being a PK?
California.
California. All right, awesome. Now, who pastored? Your father or mother?
My father.
Your father pastored. And did your father pastor your whole life, or was there a point in your childhood that you became a PK?
No, at birth.
At birth, so you was born into this thing. All right, cool. So let's start there. You were born into it. How long had your father been pastoring before you were born?
Well, the reality of it is my father started pastoring at 19. So,
Whoa.
and if he was born in 1940, then
Yeah.
the math on that is crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. So when you say pastoring, like your father was a senior pastor at 19.
At 19 years old.
What?
Yeah.
How much of that story are you familiar with? Like, what happened?
Oh, I know the story.
Okay, so you got to tell me, because that is rare.
So my dad was extremely gifted.
Okay.
He noticed his gifting in terms of the gifts of the Spirit
Okay.
at a very young age, where he was extremely prophetic.
Okay.
And so from high school, even in high school, he had a very strong presence.
Mm-hmm.
Although he was athletic, he was the one that stopped riots, fights. He was that guy. So right out of high school, and my dad was also interesting. He was also adopted,
Okay.
and I found some things about him fairly recently
Wow.
that I didn't know. Is that he moved from a place here, and so I did some digging, and what I found is that my great grandfather
Mm-hmm.
pulled a gun on my grandfather.
Oh my goodness.
And when I found out about the story, I'm like, why would somebody do that? But it was over my grandmother, which was his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And so I found this out literally this year. What
Wow.
I'm about to say.
Yeah.
That the only reason why my great grandfather pulled the gun out on my grandfather, a father would do that to protect the daughter.
Mm-hmm.
From what is the question?
Yeah.
So the speculation, the very strong speculation that I believe is true, is that because I never understood why my dad moved, or why I never understood why he was there to begin with, because his mom did not.
Didn't live in California.
She moved without him.
Mm.
Why would a mom leave her kid?
Mm-hmm.
Unless there was something.
Mm-hmm.
So come to find out that she was raped,
Mm.
and my dad is the product.
Wow.
So on some level, he was Jabez on some level,
Mm-hmm.
in the sense of I don't really know our last name.
Mm.
Because when I was in college, one of the things that I had to do in seminary was to do my family tree.
Mm-hmm.
So I did my mom's side, but when I called him, it was like, hey, can I do this side? And he basically was like, you haven't known, you don't need to know. And he hung the phone up. and I never understood why. So there was a new guy that my grandmother married, and he adopted my dad. My dad took that last name and made it famous.
And you didn't know that he was adopted until this year?
I didn't know that he was a rape. He was the
Okay.
product of a rape until this year,
Wow.
like about 3 months ago.
Which the perpetrator of that rape was your great grandfather.
It was my grandfather.
Oh, you're right, because your great grandfather is the one who pulled the gun on him.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And that's how the family ended up in California.
Yes.
Whoa.
And my dad didn't move until he got older, like almost high school age.
Okay.
So
When you say he didn't move from
where he was.
Okay. Until
So
he
he
got
was
in high
taken
school.
care of by his grandparents
Okay.
until he got like, I want to say middle school, high school age. Then the mom took him. The reason why I say Jabez is because what she couldn't look at him because he represented what happened
Yeah.
to her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it went.
And he's this incredibly gifted like
On a level that on a level I can't explain to you. He was. It's one of those things that in order for it to be anonymous, there's certain things I'm editing, trying not to say, right?
Yeah.
But I'll just say it this way: he was a pioneer because of the giftings, and the giftings were manifested in ways that was put like this. College professors were coming, trying to write about him. He's one of those guys.
Yeah.
Kind of in that Shambach era.
Yeah.
So he was one of those guys, and he's one of those guys that will walk in rooms and people jump out of their wheelchairs, and he's one of those guys.
Just move with incredible,
like,
just authority and power.
Oh yeah, it was like undeniable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that like growing up in that environment, though?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, it was horrible. Like straight up, it was horrible. I remember he did this thing, man, where he fasted for the time that he fasted, that he said God said was incredibly crazy, and because he did it with no food, no water, nothing, and so imagine being 5 or 6 and I'm literally watching him die.
Oh man.
And I remember thinking to myself, if this is what God is about, then I'm good. I don't want no parts of it. And then I remember being afraid of him my whole life, most of my life. He never wore jeans. He always had on slacks every day. It's interesting. He took me to amusement parks. He 100% adored me, for sure. But he just couldn't talk or communicate. He was like a mystic of sort, like very present but distant. Not really, extremely competitive. The times that I loved was like football games or at the park, because he would play football with us because he was athletic, and he would talk crazy. Like that's the only time I ever seen like the human piece. But I remember being 6 and going to this service, and he literally was like a ghost of sort. I mean, thousands of people in this room, and he like stretched his arms out, man, and people start having demonic manifestations, hopping out of wheelchairs, and all I wanted him to do was come to a baseball game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I played Little League baseball. I played sports my whole life. He didn't come to one game, not one.
So he was competitive because he was athletic, but that's not something that he shared with you.
Nah, like I found that out one day, because one of the schools you would be familiar with, he has records there right now,
Oh, wow.
presently. One that's close to you.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And yeah, he still got records there.
Wow.
And but like, yeah, it was horrible, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like I ended up being more of a mama's boy because I just couldn't. I was afraid of him. He was always in like a prophetic edge kind of a space. So when he was doing that fast or whatever, I remember walking in, and I didn't want to come in. I was like on the side of the room because he looked like he was dying, and he just started prophesying about stuff that would happen to me. And I was 6.
Yeah.
The crazy part though is everything he said that day has happened to me.
Wow. That is wild. All right, so we gotta roll back. Okay, because there's this one thing. There's this segment that we do. It's called One Word.
Yeah.
And I feel like you've kind of hit on some stuff. So if you had to wrap up your experience as a PK in one word, you got to condense it down to one word. What one word would you use?
Performance.
Performance.
I hated it.
Always on.
Always. I couldn't do nothing. There was a pedestal that was built for me in particular. So I was an overachiever at a 4.0 my entire life for the most part. And I remember I brought home A minus, and I showed it to him one day, and he said A minus. He said, "Why would you get an A minus? Why would you do that?" And I remember, I was driven, and I wanted to do a different profession, that was more the entertainment side. And he said, "No, you're gonna be a lawyer." And he forced me to go to a prestigious school.
Oh, wow.
So my undergrad, I have a degree in something that people wouldn't even really know, from a school that people wouldn't really know. So people would know the school, but they wouldn't know that I've done that.
Right.
But like, yeah, he forced that. So
You know what, Bruce Lee? You sound a whole lot like me because performance. I feel like many of us we can identify with that. How many siblings do you have?
8. One of them died. Well, it's 8 of us. One of them died, so 7.
Okay. And of the 8, and this, I'm coming back to a performance. Of the 8, you're the one.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, man, you have the pressure to perform, to be the one, to show up in these spaces, whereas the standard, it might have seemed, is heavily and often feeling solely on you.
Oh, he was hard on me for sure.
Yeah.
He didn't. It's like he knew something, and he just, and his only expression of it though was being tough. You know what I mean? Like, man, he shook my hand at 16 and said congratulations, and I was like, for what? You know? He's like, today's the last day I'm gonna give you anything.
What?
Yeah. Well, man. So as a result, I kind of took on like a hustle mentality, kind of. That could have went either way, but
Yeah.
So I left at 18, so it never came back.
When you say never came back, you mean like his home?
Yeah.
Okay.
And if I did, it was for just a moment. But like by the time I come back, him and my mother were separated. So yeah.
Wow. All right. There's a whole lot to unpack here, Bruce. So, whew. All right. So the one word is performance.
Yeah.
I heard a whole lot in the story that you just shared about just how, like, was your father connected with any particular denomination?
That was the thing. He was courted by many. He would say he was Pentecostal, but he wasn't a part of an organization.
Okay.
He built himself, and that's what gave him the ability to say what he needed to say. When I was a kid, man, imagine Uh, um, and this may give it away for some, but that's fine. If they know this, then it's whatever.
Yeah.
Um, Little Richard, this is how deep it was. Little
Mm-hmm.
Richard had made a transformation.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time I saw Little Richard wasn't, it wasn't on TV or
Mm-hmm.
entertainment. He preached at my church.
Really?
So my dad was in that kind of space.
Wow.
That's how he had pulled himself up at a level
Yeah.
with no organization.
Wow. And you're experiencing all this. How close were you to all of this? Like, I mean, were you?
Oh, right up on it.
Yeah. You were
Right
in
up on
it.
it. I was in it, and I had to be in it. I remember one time we were at church, and I called a lady by her first name, and he hit me.
Mm.
I remember this like it was yesterday. I said, "Don't you ever." I remember there was this other prophetic dude that came to the church, and I was 14, maybe 13, and he would always put his hands on a woman's chest when he prayed for him.
Mm-hmm.
But my mom always taught me that was inappropriate.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to figure out, like, and I noticed that after he did it, when he took the offering, those were the women that came to give the money.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked my dad, and he hit me.
Mm.
Right? He's like, "You asked too many questions."
Mm.
And I think it just made it worse. Those things made me angry. So I despised the church underneath. So I was performing on the outside, but hated it on the inside.
And when you say performing, you mean in church?
Like performing in church,
Yeah.
performing in life. Like I was taught to protect my family at all costs.
Mm.
And so I wasn't allowed to speak about what was happening. I'll tell you this, like, this is getting crazy, but like we always had like gallons of water.
Mm-hmm.
So we would live in like after we lived in the hood for a year or two, and I remember I got beat up, and then I got jacked a couple times, and then my dad was like, "No." So we moved to the other side, and then I remember we always had to have water like stored, like lots of water stored, and my friends would come over to be like, "Man, what do you all this water? What do you need?" Because it was in a space that was visible, and I said, "Oh, it was we used to earthquake waves." Was my response, right? That was just kind of how I responded. But really, on any given day, we if the water was on, then the electricity was off. If the electricity was on, then the water was off. If both of those were on, then the gas was off. So I lived in a culture of things not having things, and so we would use hot plates to warm water up when we didn't have gas to take baths or showers, and people didn't know that because the house looked like we were in another space, but we were struggling not because my dad was poor, because he wasn't. He just had a very warped thinking about. He didn't want to be rich. He wasn't. He literally gave every dime he had to ministry. But then I saw something happen. This is, I think, is spiritual. There was a turn in his ministry where he became very famous, very, very, very famous. And maybe I shouldn't say this, but put it this way. Eventually, he developed a visual showing like a disease of sort that forced him to always wear makeup of some sort constantly. And I thought about that as I got older, like something shifted or something flipped.
Yeah.
And it's just been it's interesting, man. The more I think about certain things, but like the crazy part in all of that, I still have these glimpses of going to SeaWorld. He took me to SeaWorld every year.
Really?
Without fail. Like I remember that.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, this is an amazing time. But that stuff was so far and in between.
Yeah.
You know.
So he's not only giving his time to ministry, he's giving his his money to ministry, his all of who he is that, and then in these small spurts, he's giving of himself to you.
Yeah, very small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned a lot of what you saw turning you away from internally the church. Was there ever an outward turning away where you just like, hey, I'm not even doing this anymore?
Yeah. 18.
Mm.
I was marking a calendar. I used college to get out
Mm.
and to do it my way.
You were counting it down.
And in my outward expression, people will probably know this too, but I don't care. It's fine. My outward expression was to become for education and music to take me out of the environment. And so I used music to escape. So like most PKs, they know how either they preach, they play an instrument of some sort,
Yep.
forced to do those things.
Mm-hmm.
I became obsessed with music because it's the only thing that made me feel okay. So I would practice for 5 hours a day. And because I practiced so much, by the time I was 15, I was playing professionally. And I had my first road gig, and though I wasn't allowed to listen to secular music, I would sneak into it, and I would. So when I went to college, I played in dash joints like all the time, and I was out, man, in clubs and going to listen to people who I could never listen to, and then I like consumed myself with all the music that I missed, and music was an escape. And it's so interesting. To date, I do more secular music than I do gospel, and I think a portion of it is rooted in some escapism still.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where
Yeah.
like they're like, you produce gospel music? I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to do no gospel music, bro, like at all.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I get it. Oh man. I had an opposite experience. So, whereas your father told you you would be a lawyer, I actually wanted to be one. But something happened to me at a young age where I began to kind of discern a call and pull toward ministry itself. My father wanted me to have nothing to do with it. So it was like this reverse sort of effect where it was like I was like driving, trying to get close. Because honestly, if I wasn't in ministry or if I wasn't rolling with him in ministry, then I wasn't getting him.
Yeah.
So I had to be there if I wanted to spend time with my dad. So that was it for me. And then, like you said, all PKs, they'll preach or they'll do music, right? Well, we all played instruments. We had to. We didn't have a choice. And I remember part of like my internal rebellion, because my father did not want me to be doing ministry. I literally I played keys. I literally gave my keyboard, all my books. I gave it all to my brother, who still plays to this day. He started off on bass. Now he's on the keys and the organ. I gave it away, and I said, I'm only going to focus on communication. So I became obsessed with communication. I was studying like comedians and preachers, and I've probably seen every single Nathan Simmons message. I've probably seen every single Noel Jones message ever that's online. I was consuming as much as I could. I would send out for the at the time it was the DVDs. I would send out for the Jake's sets, and I would watch them. I was consuming myself with communication. Even secular communicators, all in an effort to try and get close. Like that was it. You know what I'm saying? So for me, even like in my college time and everything, it was this, I will do and be what you didn't want me to do and be. You know what I mean? So when you talk about that escapism, even for me now, like when I do, and I don't know if I'll call them secular, but when I do corporate engagements or whatever, when I go and speak on leadership or anything like that, it is a nice reprieve that kind of opens me up to more than what I was able to be and do at that age, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I heard when you just Nathan Simmons was a son
Oh, wow.
of my dad,
Wow.
so I saw him all the time.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, I mean, I'm saying it's awesome, but for you, it was probably like, it's too much.
Too much.
It's
Yeah.
too much.
Yeah.
So, man, okay. So my great grandfather was a legend of sorts in the Midwest. As a matter of fact, somebody that you and I both know mutually, he was able to recognize me by my great grandfather. So, he was a legend of sorts. And so growing up in that environment where my grandfather and my father were on TV, I'm going to school and at the time, Noel Jones used to come to our church all the time, and we were the spot in our region to go to, right? So for me growing up, I felt swallowed up. It was like, I'm in this, I'm close to it, I'm exposed to all of this, but I feel so small.
Yeah.
Did you ever experience that?
Yeah. I felt like I think a portion of my personality was shaped by it still. Like I think one of the issues I have now is I don't ever want to be seen. Yet my profession is that, right?
Yes.
So my personality is taken as standoffish or quiet or reserved, but it's all because I've always been like, no, I don't want to.
Yeah.
But it's because I was conditioned that way. And then also, too, I feel like, my dad trusted, you trust the quote-unquote saints in the church, right? And so, once again, because the narrative was like, you protect your family at all costs,
Yes.
there was a place where my parents trusted, and I was molested in that space. So then that also caused some of my personality, like I still struggle.
Yeah.
Because when you're touched as a child, and I think I was like 7, and they were like 20. So it's like, it and she was like 20. She was 20 years old. So like I'm not supposed to be like. So it rushed my sexual intuitions.
Yeah.
And so like I was exposed. So then this is what I always get a little nervous when people say kids have an old soul.
Yeah.
Because so I was 7, but I became 15.
Yeah.
And then when I was 15, I was 30. So I skipped decades of being the age that I was.
Yeah.
And it was a horrible thing. And I think it ultimately led to the demise, so I messed up my whole family. So when I got married, I think I had repercussions of all those things. And when my mother died, I just spent out of control and then just became extremely destructive and ruined my family in a sort. And then I found myself like trying to live that adolescent life like I miss, like I miss something. So like these are, in all those years I performed, I remember, and I hate to say this because I know theologically this is not right, but it's almost like when I got a divorce, I felt relieved, and the relief came from finally they won't expect nothing from me. It was almost like I could breathe.
Yeah.
So I've disappointed people so much that they no longer hold me there.
Yeah.
And although that's a hard place, it was it was a very peaceful space.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No longer feeling the pressure of expectation.
Because they were like, he's the person that did this wrong thing. So, which is probably why too, man, I reach for pastors who have had failures. because I'm one of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You say you're one of them, but you're not only in that space, like in the religious and church world, but you also you mentioned you occupy a secular one as well.
Yeah.
And through the gift and mastery in music, you're able to be in that space in a strong way. So I guess, what was that journey like for you, and how did you find freedom to do that? Did you find freedom to do that, or is it still like what is happening in you? Because like you said, you do more of that music than you do even of gospel.
100%.
So talk to me about that experience a little bit.
I don't have any problems with it now.
Mm-hmm.
I think earlier it was a rebellion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I were to say ministry-wise, I have more. I've done more ministry in that environment authentically than, in my opinion, in church.
Mm.
I'm able to talk to folks, and they come to church. They come to our church,
Yeah.
and people don't even know that there are people that they consider to be secular, whatever that means. I like the way Erwin McManus, I heard him say something like there is no sacred and secular, and like in the kingdom, it's just God. Jesus just looks at it's just it's just the kingdom, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like earlier on, I true story. I was on this tour with this this legend of sort, music, secular music, jazz guy, and we were in Texas, and I went to when I walked in, I remember I had to learn For the Love of Money. And I remember I was practicing at home when my dad wasn't there. I remember like practicing as much as I could without him being there, because I knew that if he came, that it would be a problem. So I ended up going to Texas. We were on TV and everything, and I was playing For the Love of Money. And then I felt so bad. I felt like I was like betraying God, like I would go to hell. And I remember that evening we had one more in Texas, and I never forget it, because I was only 15 years old. And when I walked in, Clyde Drexler and all of the Houston Rockets were there, and all of the Astros were there. And these guys are huge, and I'm like, whoa, this is crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, I got super nervous, but then I looked and I saw a bar, and I thought I was gonna die. Like, oh my God, there's alcohol in the building. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I saw the bar, and I was like, oh, I can't play in here. This is not. I felt I was going through all these changes, you know. And I remember the gentleman who I was playing for, and he said, I'm going to show you something tonight. And we had a set that we were supposed to play. And he was like, I'm going to show you something tonight. I said, okay. And he walks over to the mic, man, and I mean, people are drunk, drinking, and whatever. It's a party.
Yeah.
He goes, anybody out there love church? And everybody screamed like, yeah, with the drinks up, right? And I was confused. And I was like, whoa, this is crazy. And then he was like, well, me and my boy, they say, me and Bruce, we gonna show y'all a little something. And he start playing Victory Is Mine. Like, Victory Today is mine. Like old school, like black church.
Yeah.
He played those songs, man, and the crowd went crazy.
Really?
I mean, they went crazy.
Wow.
And I was looking like, what in the world is this? We got back in the car, and he said, let me ask you a question. I said, yes, sir. He said, does the mailman just deliver mail to the church? I said, no, sir. He said, I want you to ponder that for the rest of your life. That day, I didn't understand what he was saying. But now I know exactly what he was saying. The mailman doesn't just go to the church. The mail gets delivered to every house.
Yeah.
and he and I remember this is how crazy it was, man. How conditioned I was at 15. He put me in I had my own room because of the level of the gig.
Mm-hmm.
It was at the Ritz-Carlton.
Mm.
Because of the way I was raised about like some of the Pentecostal overtones, like you don't deserve anything.
Yes.
Bro, I went in the room and I looked at the room, and I slept on the floor because I didn't think I deserved to sleep in the bed.
Oh my goodness.
I remember just like it was yesterday.
And how old were you?
15. Because I always heard you gotta sacrifice, you gotta this, you gotta that. It was like Jesus didn't want you to have nothing.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be poor, broke, disgusted, and that's when God gets the best out of you. So I went to Ritz-Carlton and I slept on the floor.
Mm. You slept on the
Because
floor of the Ritz-Carlton.
I slept on the floor, bro, because I was trying to show God that I was worthy or whatever. Slept on the floor, and I was like, and I remember the gentleman knocked on my door, man. This was supposed to be a secular gig.
Mm-hmm.
The gentleman knocked on my door, man, at 5 a.m.
Mm.
And I was like, what's going on? Came in with his Bible,
Mm.
and we had devotion at 5 in the morning.
Wow.
He was teaching me how to be a Christian and not to do,
Yes.
not to be like a performer.
Yes.
He was and still is my hero
Mm.
because he showed me how to be. And I'll tell people often, we are human beings, not human doings.
Yes.
And I spent most of my life up until my 30s being a human doing.
Mm-hmm.
After I messed up, I got a chance to do more human being.
Mm-hmm. What was that journey like, going from doing to being? What did you do?
Yeah. I
Like,
was
how did you become?
become say it a different way.
How did you become a being from living your whole life as a doer?
So the transition happened in divorce. Unfortunately, I'm not proud of that. I remember this is where it happened. My son at the time, he was 9, and maybe he was 8, and he walked up to me he walked up to me in church and whispered, because me and his mom was separated, and he whispered. He said, "Dad, I'm going with Mom," but he whispered it because he was trying to protect me. He didn't want to ruin my reputation for the church. He knew that I had already, the same thing I was doing, I had already formed him without ever saying it.
Yeah.
And he whispered that I'm going with Mom. And when I saw that, I looked and I was crushed. So, I decided I didn't want him to live like that. So the following Sunday, I demanded to stand in front of the church. Even though my pastor didn't want to do it that way. And my dad at the time was alive. He told me not to do it that way. But it was more so I didn't want my son to feel like he had to protect me. That's not his job.
Yep.
So I got up. I said what I said. It was horrible. The amount of people, you know what I mean? They were crushed.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting, man. Like, that's where the freedom started. And then I started doing some work, and I came into, I can say the organization's name. There's an organization called GAP. And so I went through GAP, and I got counseling. I have an amazing counselor. She was molested by her father, raped multiple times by her dad. So she got me in a way that most people don't get me.
Yeah.
And between doing transformational work, like putting myself in rooms where I had to face stuff.
Yeah.
That's the thing that I think kind of it broke me because I was so used to hiding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That now I'm in front of people in the street. So this transformational work was in the room with people,
Yeah.
and I was being confronted in front of people
Yeah.
about my ideas,
Yeah.
and my upbringing. So I end up going through every single module,
Yeah.
and I just went every year.
Mm-hmm.
To this day, I'm still connected to that, because it was one of the things that like switched it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Where now it's like what you see is what you get,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is a different way of being,
Yeah.
you know. And I'm okay now. The other piece of it is that counselor, uh, she made me go to. It's funny. She made me go to CODA, which is Codependency Anonymous.
Okay.
It's almost like a AA meeting for
Mm-hmm.
people who struggle with codependency.
Okay.
And so I started doing that.
Mm.
And because my drug of choice was not drugs,
Mm-hmm.
I was drinking, being needed
Mm-hmm.
at a level that was just unhealthy.
Yeah.
And I still struggle with that until I have to keep reins on,
Mm-hmm.
because I have to ask myself why I think a portion of my father, he needed to be
Mm-hmm.
needed, or the one. So whenever I find myself needing to be the one,
Mm-hmm.
I can feel that in my body now and recognize like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm doing the thing.
Yeah.
Um, those are the things that I'm still like to this day. Like I will go to a codependency class and
Mm-hmm.
sit there and say, hey, and I'm a codependency addict.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
those things I think have like changed me big time.
At some point during what you just shared with me, you decided to stop protecting your father.
Yeah.
When did that happen?
Well, honestly, it's interesting. Like, I don't know if I would say I stopped protecting him. This is the first time I've ever had this conversation.
Mm.
So, in transformation leadership, I have made mention of things, but those are confidential spaces.
Okay. But you were able to trust that space.
Yeah,
Okay.
that space.
Yeah.
I have, so that's where I would say he wasn't like protected, but also hindsight 2020, because the reason why I told the story at the beginning is because that was healing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I look at where he came from, he didn't have no tools,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it made me. So then his I'm gonna tell you, man, my last 12 years with my dad, he was my best friend.
Mm.
We ended up being closer than ever.
Really?
And this is the crazy part, bro. This is anonymous. I can say whatever, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Bro, one time my dad called me on the phone, man. He didn't even know, man. I was crying the entire time.
Mm.
And I was just quiet letting him talk. He talked to me for 45 minutes, man. At 40, about the birds and the bees, bro. And I was 40.
Mm.
Already had a kid and everything. It's almost like his mind relapsed to a conversation that we were supposed to have.
Yeah.
So because I needed it, I just let him do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just sat there. And I loved every bit of it.
Yeah.
I just sat there. And like, he used to do that to me all the time. He would have conversations with me. His favorite thing to say is like, man, you know, you single now, like, how you dealing with the ladies? So there's a lot of them at the church,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
That was his favorite thing to say, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And, man, I loved every bit of it.
Yeah.
We had, like, there were certain things he still couldn't quite get to, but he found a way. He would talk to me about himself in third person.
Mm.
Because there was just certain things he couldn't find the courage to say directly.
Yeah.
So he said it indirectly.
Mm-hmm.
And I took it because I understood what he was trying to say.
Yeah.
And another, I think, healing spot for me was, my family is like super hardcore Pentecostal people, right?
Yeah.
I have some of that, but not like them, you know?
Yeah.
So my dad used to call me the Black Joel Osteen.
Okay.
And, and I remember I felt like preaching wasn't something that I could do.
Mm.
And I remember he invited me to the church to preach, and I said, Dad, I can't. These people are not going. They're not going to listen to me because I'm not going to choke the coon. I'm not going to hoop them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember he got up that day, and this is after we had already been mended, and he, in his introduction, he said, I want to introduce you all to my my favorite preacher in the entire world.
Mm.
He's better than T.D. Jakes.
Mm.
He's better than everybody. He's the one I prefer to listen to.
Mm.
And I remember while he was talking, I was breaking down.
Yeah.
I'm like, I gotta preach, and you
doing this to me? Come
you
on,
do
man.
like I
Come
can't.
on, man.
You know, I'm supposed to preach behind. I couldn't pull myself together.
Yeah.
And I remember it was. I felt like he was like reaching inside of me.
Yeah.
And after I got finished, he told me, he looked me in my eyeballs. He said, "Don't you ever change it for nobody."
Mm.
He said, "When you preach, don't ever get up and perform for anybody.
Yeah.
You ain't gotta do it like me." He's like, "Do it like you."
Yeah.
And that was vital.
Yeah.
For me, in a space where most of my friends are choking the coon.
Yeah.
A lot of them are, at least.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm trying to put on.
Yeah, and I'm like, trying to get that going.
Yep.
And it's funny, the more that I feel released from that expectation, I have moments of excitement that are natural.
Exactly.
To me.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Man, that is so awesome. What was happening for him? I mean, as much as you know, I mean, like, because from him not even being able to do that at all during your youth to having those moments to open up, like, do you know, was he going through some sort of emotional healing that, I mean, I don't know, did he ever seek out, to your knowledge, did he ever seek out like counseling or therapy?
No. My dad ain't going to no counselor.
Yeah.
Nah.
So what do you think was happening for him to be able to go there with you? I mean, I think about you saying at 40, he's having a conversation with me about the person to be, and that's something he never did. And before you answer the first question, answer this one.
Yeah.
How often had you thought about that he had never had that conversation with you?
Since I was 13. So 13 to 40, I was waiting for it. I wanted it.
Yeah.
And he just wouldn't.
Yeah. So what is happening for him where he's reaching back now and in some way atoning and apologizing for the things he missed?
I'm gonna tell you what I think happened, and this may not come across right on this podcast, bro. So, but I have to say it the way I believe it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if children really know the plight of the father.
Mm-hmm.
My speculation is that, like I did, I became my mother's surrogate.
Mm.
So because of that, I was her protector and her husband.
Yeah.
there was no room for him.
Mm-hmm.
There was none. Because as far as I was concerned, he was, man, I got married to show him how to be married. I never even married my wife at the time. I never married her. Like, unfair to her.
Yeah.
But I was so trying to prove and perform
Yeah.
that when I got married, I never married her. I married the idea so I can show him how to do it.
Yeah.
And I felt like there was just no, I despised him, man, to a point to where, and I sided with my mother, which is what I think. I'm not sure most kids know that in relationships there's two sides of the story.
Yeah.
And a lot of times kids are put in a position to choose, and oftentimes they choose the mother.
Yeah.
And I chose my mom, and he knew that.
Mm-hmm.
So he never said one ill thing about her.
Mm-hmm.
And he never got involved. He just got quiet. And then my mother died, and then he opened up.
Wow. Man, I'm trying to imagine. You started that off by saying, I'm not sure that children know the plight of the father. And then to end it with, when your mother passed, he opened up.
Yeah.
Do you get the sense that because he knew that you chose your mother, that there was a lot that he intentionally withheld?
100%. He just was like, I'm going to go with your choice. And he never defamed her. Never said one day. Like, to his death, he never said one negative thing about my mother, ever.
Man.
And I found out, this is the thing, bro, I found out things about my mom who I thought was an angel. And she's still my angel, but man, it takes two to tango.
Absolutely.
And children often, and the reason why I'm saying this too, man, is like, it's funny, I did all this performance to show him how to do it, and I end up doing the exact same thing. And so I didn't really miss any games. And I didn't really miss stuff with my son too much. But my son still said to me the same thing I said.
Yeah.
And I'm finding myself triggered by those things. And trying to be as normal as possible with him.
Yeah.
You know, it scared me one Sunday. I had like a, you know, I don't have like continuous moves like this, but like one Sunday, I had this situation, and it came off away, like naturally. And my son later, we were eating together, and he said, "Oh man, Dad, you starting to turn into Pawpaw. Please, man, chill." And it triggered me a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, "You're getting weird, bro." That's what he told me. And I was just like, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, we laughed. I laughed at the table, but on my inside, I was like, does he mean that? You know?
Yep.
So.
I was preaching somewhere, and somebody saw a clip or something. They heard it, and they said, "Oh man, you sound like your dad." And I remember the feeling that I had in my body when I heard them say that. They said, "Oh, you sound like your dad." I said, "No, I do not. I do not sound like my dad." Mind you, my dad, I don't know if this is the case for you, but my dad was my first preaching hero, you know?
Right.
And now when people tell me I sound like him, I'm like, absolutely not. I don't sound like him. I don't ever want to sound like him. I remember that feeling.
Yeah.
It's like, no. Like, it's just my body rejected it.
Yeah, man.
And now you're a father.
Yes.
And you have how many children?
One.
You have a son.
Yes.
And again, you occupy in a big way a secular space with music, but then you also pastor.
Yeah.
So if that 15-year-old you is looking at you and your son right now,
Yeah.
what would he be saying to your son?
The 15-year-old?
Yeah, the 15-year-old Bruce, what would he be saying to your son?
He would be saying, man, keep doing what you're doing right now. My son is not me, bro. He's completely opposite.
Okay.
And partly because I think, I've had these conversations with him.
Okay.
And just been very honest. You know, my son is very much his own person. He does it his way.
Yeah.
And I don't really stop him.
Yeah.
You know, he just turned 18, and I did something that my parents would never do. You know, I was like, hey, I told his mom we got to give him something. You know, so he turned 18, I let him get his ears pierced. You know, the Pentecostal church, doc.
No.
You going straight to hell for that?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
And, he's swagged out, bro, like big time.
Yeah.
And then he also, I didn't want him to do it, but he's doing music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's a thing. I'm letting him find his way and letting him make those choices for himself, as opposed to me trying to force that on him.
That's good.
Yeah.
You grew up in a great big shadow.
Your huge saddle, yeah.
I'm imagining that there were a whole lot of pressures.
Yeah.
I'm imagining there were a whole lot of assumptions.
Yeah.
Stories, all sorts of things when you grow up in that kind of an environment.
Yeah.
So this is the time for the second segment, so to speak. So we already did one word, but this next piece is you have an opportunity to set the record straight. All right. So this is a segment called The Truth Is.
Okay.
All right. So the way it works is you'll say, people thought whatever. The truth is, whatever.
Okay.
All right. So Bruce Lee gets to set the record straight about something. All right.
Yeah.
As a PK, you get to set the record straight. People thought I blank. The truth is.
Give me an example.
People thought here we go. People thought I loved ministry. The truth is, I just wanted to be around my dad. Or people thought I hated the church. The truth is, I just wanted to breathe. Like, just whatever.
Got it.
You know,
Okay.
there's something that you experience, and you get to set the record straight right now.
Yeah. People thought I loved the church. The truth is, there's a large portion where I hated it. People thought at the time that my dad and I were cool. The truth of the matter is that from 0 to about 35, we were not. But you could tell.
Performed.
People thought that I came from a stable household. Truth is, it was not stable at all. We were struggling constantly, not because we didn't have money, but because my dad appropriated money a certain way.
Water.
Yeah,
out
just there, bro.
Yeah.
At all times. People may have thought my parents were happy. They were not. Both of them were miserable for a large portion of my childhood. People thought that I wanted to be smart and that I was super in academics. The truth is, I hated it. And I just did it for him.
Man, you want to know This is the first time I'm ever saying this like in a very public setting, and my face ain't dark, so y'all can hear this for the first time. So I went to West Point and played football, Division I football, and there were some other places that I could have gone, but I had political aspirations. I wanted to go to law school and I wanted to go into politics, but I didn't want to play football. People thought that I loved sports. The truth is, it was one of the only things that I thought my dad would show up for. It was one of the only things I thought my dad would show up. If it wasn't church, I knew he would show up for a football game. I knew it. He loved football, and he would coach football. So when you say academics is what you did, and you did it for him, I see it. I did football, and it wasn't because I wanted to play. If it was up to me, I would have been in performing arts. I would have been doing plays, acting, singing, all of that. Like 100% that would have been me. But I knew that if I was going to get him to show up, I had to be on that football field.
I'm telling you, that's why my son is my hero, man, because at 17, I had him in training. He's a tall boy. But in basketball, he was getting really good. And at 17, he was crying. He told me that I don't love this. And he looked me in my eyeballs and he put tears in his eyes. He said, I'm only doing this for you. He said, if you want me to keep going, I will. I said, no, sir.
Yeah.
I said, if you don't love it, I said, I want to love what you love. Quit. So we quit basketball.
I love that, man. I love that. You know what I love even more? And this is a big shout out to you, Bruce. I love that he felt comfortable enough to say it to you.
Yeah.
I love that he felt comfortable enough to say it to you and not to just hold it in his heart and know that it's how he felt, but was afraid to say it to you.
Yeah.
So that is huge. That is huge. All right. So there's so many different things I want to ask you, man. Like you've got phenomenal array of experiences, whether in church or outside and everything else. Where did you feel the pressure the most when it came to being the guy, being the son, being the one? Did you feel that more in church, or did you feel it more when you weren't in it?
In church.
You felt it in church.
Like my secular experience is amazing. Church was, I'll give you one. Like, let me say this the right way. I do believe that you should have sex when you're married. So let me be clear on that before I say my next statement.
Yeah.
But the presentation for me was based in fear. And so because it was based in fear, I was a virgin to marriage. But I remember the trepidation of it and it was a wild ride. The pressure, all the pressures on like teenage life. My teenage life was just too much.
Yeah.
I had some traumatic experiences that caused that. So the pressure was church, man. And I remember I had this one traumatic experience where I almost died at like 16, 17. And it was bad. And I remember a pastor at the church came and said to me that God did it to me. And, I was pretty astute. So because he said that, my brain said, that means that the devil and God are on the same team. So I went to the bathroom and took a razor blade and attempted to slit my wrist because my brain said, let me help you. Like, I'm not trying to play these games with y'all. Like, this whole church thing is whack. Like, God and the devil on the same side. Like, I'm good. Like, that was pressure, man.
Yeah.
That theology, um, it it hurt me big time. And I think that's the other reason why, man, too. Like, I have a bit of a rebellion against. It's anonymous. I can just say it. I have a bit of a rebellion against a holiness rhetoric that produces performance in people.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of that as I scroll through IG, where people are saying certain things in the name of the Lord, but I'm sitting there and I'm very triggered. And I'm saying, do you not know that what you're doing is creating a room full of hiders?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know. And once again, I do believe in the Bible. I do believe in the commandments and all things. But when I look at Jesus' presentation, to me, it just looks very different depending on who he's talking to.
Yeah.
And I struggle with that still. Like, there's very famous people that I listen to talk, and I'm going like, that's not helping people. It's hurting them.
Yeah.
And you don't even know it. Like, and that pressure every week to get up and preach is, it's rough, man.
Yes. Yes.
It's rough.
And the producing of hiders. Some theology is taught, other theology is caught. And it's like certain things you may not have even heard your father preach or teach, but there are certain ways of doing life that you might have adopted.
Yep.
And related or correlated it to your faith.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, there's this moment that you're describing where this, you said this was a pastor who said this to you. Were they attempting to communicate to you that God was doing this as a result of some imperfection that you had?
Yeah. Which could be the case if,
Jesus.
like, I'm not doing. I can't listen to nothing. I can't go to the movies.
Yeah.
I can't listen to music. I can't go to the movies. I can't have sex. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do nothing. All I could do is go to church. The hell with church, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's where I was coming from on my inside. So when he said that, I was like, man, middle finger to you, bro.
Yeah.
Honestly.
What happened in that bathroom?
My mom stopped me.
So she found you.
She
She followed you, or
I went to the bathroom and she had some kind of sense of some sort, and she did black mom.
Okay.
Like, like, she was about to. I mean, I felt like she was about to bulldoze that door down. And then she just came in and she grabbed me. I just cried. She just hugged me. And then they put me on watch from that point. And they said that then they stopped church people from visiting me.
Man, they stopped church people from visiting you.
They stopped. Listen to that sentence.
Why?
Because the people they didn't know what the hell to say. They came in talking crazy.
Trying to over spiritualize it, trying to make some sort of spiritual sense out of it. So who was the they? Your parents or
my parents?
Okay.
Stopped.
They stopped them.
Yeah, and I remember that was also the first time I seen that side of him. My dad was devastated about me being hurt. I'd never seen that before.
Yeah.
And I saw it in his eyes. He couldn't even look at me.
Wow.
He couldn't look at me. I remember that.
So there's a question I like to ask, and I think this is an appropriate point to ask it.
Yeah.
If you could say anything to those church people back then, what would you say now that you couldn't say then?
Go to hell. Yeah. That's what I would have said if I could have.
Yeah.
Now, I know that's not appropriate.
Hey, it's what you would have said.
I know it's not appropriate. I know it's not Christian. I know it's not theologically correct. I know I'm supposed to turn the other cheek.
Yeah.
But I wish I would have stood up for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I would have said, you Negroes got the nerve when I knew everything they kids was doing and everything they was doing. I got all the tapes on your whole family.
Yeah.
And I got to sit here and listen to you be self-righteous and talk to me.
Yeah.
You hypocrites. That's what I wish I would have said.
Yeah. One thing I don't think people always appreciate is how much we really know.
Bro, let me tell you. We didn't even go there. Like, I ain't even talking about the pastorate. Bro, I know stuff that I should not know.
Yes.
And people don't know the burden and the stress and the trepidation internally that we cause kids when we don't talk to them. You saying one thing and you doing another.
Yeah.
It's like I'm listening to Holiness every single week, and I'm watching people in the church, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And then how is it? I'm protected in my community by gangbangers because they're all the grandkids of the people that shout every week in church on Sunday.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
Right. Right.
I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
We in here shouting and screaming and doing all this,
Mm-hmm.
but I can go down to the street because the gangbanger is your grandson.
Yeah.
And he won't step foot in here because of you.
Right. Because of you.
I have other expletives, man, but it's not appropriate.
Hey, man, look, this podcast is free. We can say whatever we want to. I had a similar sentiment of experience in that I remember I was, man, like, my parents did a good job. Like, remember I told you we were surrounded and swallowed up in that world. But my parents did a good job at shielding us from a lot of stuff. I was ignorant and naive to a lot of things. And I was really like on this, I want to do this the right way. I want to do life the right way. And it's just all this. And I was a virgin all the way through college, bro. I remember, though, being at a church conference, standing in this group of pastors, preachers. And I don't know if it's because, you know, being of college age, they might have assumed that I was of this way. But I'm just listening to them, some of whom were married, talking about which women at the conference they had either been with, was getting with, or wanted to get with.
Crazy.
And I said, literally my eyes were opened up. I said, oh, this is what it's like. I thought we were, this is what it's like. And, well, I don't want to say too much because then I'm going to expose which conference I was at. But I was like, And I said, I've been struggling to do it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that very next day, I said, you know what? I'm done. Like, I woke up angry. And I said, I'm not going to keep doing this. If none of them are doing it, and, you know, these are the guys, not me. So it was just like this frustration. And then it's like you learn these things about them, and then that same sort of pressure that you talk about to protect a parent, you have that same pressure to protect these other people too.
Yep.
So I'm not only carrying the weight of what I know about my family, I'm carrying the weight of what I know about yours.
Yep.
I'm carrying the weight of what I know about your kids, all of that. And then you have the nerve to hold me to a standard that not only are your kids not doing, but you ain't either.
How about that? Yeah, bro. It's wild.
Yeah, man. Man, that's crazy. I'm gonna get you out of here, but real quick, I get the sense like somebody's listening to your story, and they're like, "Hey, I'm resonating.
Yeah.
I'm resonating with that feeling. I'm resonating with that pressure. I'm resonating with being torn in two different worlds. I resonate with repeating some of these things that I was so vehemently against.
Yeah.
I'm resonating with that story, or even I'm resonating with the pressure that's being placed on me from the community where my parents are pastoring, and I just need you to say something to me right here where I'm at.
Yeah.
What would you tell somebody who's listening and they're saying, "Hey, I'm where you were in that bathroom. I'm there right now." What would you say to them?
This is what I would say. Um, it is said that the best way to meet someone is through another person.
Mm,
It's through an introduction.
mm,
But what if my belief about Jesus is based on the introduction
mm,
of my environment, my parents, my household? And I want to say, there's a passage of scripture that people preach all the time. The man who says, "God, I believe, but help my unbelief."
yes.
Um, when I read it based on my perspective, what do you do when your unbelief is caused by what the church couldn't do?
Mm,
I went to the people that's supposed to intro you, and they didn't intro you the right way. I would say to you, if you're listening, that the way Jesus was introduced is not him.
mm,
There's another piece to him.
yeah.
I would say to you, not from no church jargon, to ask him to intro himself
Mm-hmm.
so you can get to know the real him. I would say to you, if you're in that bathroom, you're in that space, unfortunately that space is indicative that you're called to something.
Mm,
And there are people, it's funny, whenever you are given Saul's armor,
mm-hmm.
it just don't fit.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for the ones who are listening, the possibility is that you've been given garments and armor and things that just don't fit. But if you're living now, that means you're called to this generation. And it's what I realize is that this is a generation that needs authenticity in ways, in spaces that only you can give.
Yeah.
So I know it's painful. I know it hurts. But there is a real Jesus that can do his own introduction.
Mm,
That you don't have to meet through your experiences. You don't have to meet through what happened to you. You don't have to meet through the trauma. He's able to show you who he really is.
yeah.
He's the one that also said, "Let he who's without sin
Mm-hmm.
cast the first stone," because he saw that there was something that was disproportionate. They just brought the woman. They brought a law that required both parties,
Mm-hmm.
but the action just brought one.
Mm-hmm.
He saw that. We serve a Jesus that will come to a space that hates him, called Samaria,
Mm,
just to sit with one person.
yeah.
Not just the crowd, that'll sit with one person. That's the Jesus. That's the Jesus that I want to introduce you to. That's the one that I have met. That's the one that is even to this day, at almost whatever age I am, he's still introducing himself to me because it was one that I was not introduced to. I would say Galatians is your friend. Don't be bewitched by the jargon and some of the spaces and some of the things that people say that don't represent him.
Yeah.
He will really come and he will really heal you. And I will tell you that healing is over time. I'm still doing it. I'm still recovering, and I'm years in. So be encouraged.
Yeah.
You're not, and then also know you ain't the only one. We out here.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. No, that's good, man. Thank you so much. Hey, listen, if you're PK listening to this, what I want you to do is I want you to comment on this video and tell us what part of Bruce Lee's story you really connected with. And I want you to do one more thing. Connect with us in the community. Go to the Discord, talk to your fellow PKs in there, and tell them about this episode. Share the things that really stood out to you or the things that really helped you. And we will be back here for another amazing episode of PKs Anonymous. Hey, listen, if you're listening to this, I want you to remember you're not alone and you never were. We'll see you for another episode.